better than ever. And I know right now that I'm going somewhere and I need some cheddar. Oh, baby, better.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Andre Luck here to share my next episode of the Sports Sales Show, where today I'm going to carry on with the series of using AI to bring sales and marketing together and be that connector. And today, what I'm going to talk about is the ideal customer profile, what we call an ICP. And so we'll talk through what the misconceptions are, when people look to create their ICP, what a good ICP looks like, and then based on where you're at in your AI maturity, how you could use different types of AI and automation and agents to help you bring those two together. And at the end goal for all of these is to save time and drive more revenue. So we'll talk about how you could do that for sports teams. So what we'll start is just defining what an ICP is. So again, that's ideal customer profile. The more honed in, the more segmented you are with that, the more likely you are to have success. And ideally, you have data that you could work off of people that purchased, people that didn't purchase, and reasons why they didn't. So you have really good notes that you can work off. You could just put more of your efforts in the right spaces. A lot of times we'll just go grab a bunch of leads and just start calling businesses or calling, certain ticket buyers just because, that's worked before. We made some sales to businesses. We made some sales to ticket buyers. But like, who is the best fit customer for us? Who's our ideal customer? And so a lot of times where I went wrong and where teams go wrong is they just think it's like an industry. So we sold construction companies, so we're going to go focus on a whole bunch of construction companies. You could have two companies, same size, same area, same strategy, but they just have different ways they go about their business or different things that they're focused on, or the owner just may have different outcomes that they're looking for. So it's got to be more than just the industry that they're in or the city that they're located in. A lot of times where teams go wrong is they just do it once. They define their customer profile, their fan profile, and like they just set it and forget it. But that's always evolving. It's always changing. Like the sports landscape's changing, fan behaviors and customer behaviors are changing. So we always got to be looking and analyzing our data to see who is the best person that we should be going after now. A lot of times where sales teams go wrong is they leave it on marketing or their analytics and data team to pull that. Like we need to know that as well. And we all should be in the loop, because if they know who our best fan is to go after, but we're not taking that data on the sales side and we're just blindly calling people, we're not talking, and now we're wasting our efforts where there's this data that could help us. And then also, like, we just got to keep redefining it and reworking it and everything like that, and just going and targeting just more and more leads. Like, who are the best leads to go after? I'd rather take less leads that are more quality and really go deep on those versus just trying to hit everybody, anybody and everybody just because they have a phone number, email address, and they're a lead that we can call. Who's the best person that we can go after? And just because someone bought doesn't mean they're our ideal customer. Is there a repeating behavior of those type of people buying? Or is there consistency in that type of buyer? Just one type of buyer isn't enough of a sample size to really build a model off of. So what good looks like is, yes, obviously there's some firmographic data. There's certain industries, there's certain sizes of companies, everything like that. But taking it a step deeper, like who's involved in the decision typically at the deals that we win more likely and win for higher dollar amounts and win quickly? Is it we're working with a certain type of champion, a certain decision maker within the company, or when we work with the executive leader of a certain focus, like, do we close deals quicker and for a higher dollar amount because more budget gets unlocked? Like, those are things that if we peel back the layers a little bit, we can identify. Are there certain events that are happening in their business? Are they hiring new people? Have they let a lot of people go? Are they AI forward? And there's things that they're doing to implement new AI processes, or they're really trying to grow their brand awareness, and we can help them with that. Like, what's going on in their business? Like, what are business goals that they have that we can go research and look up? What are pain points that that typical persona faces, or even that they vocally express in meetings and things like that? What are signals that could point us in the right direction? So all that we could figure out, and could do that manually, but AI helps us with that research, but then also takes all that data and kind of molds it and connects it all together so that we have a very clean output, that we get like a good V1, a good rough draft. And I'll show an example of what that looks like here in a little bit in screen share. But by using AI to identify some of those things so we know exactly what pain points and what business goals the people that we sell to are facing, now it could build out a nice profile for us and say, here are the 5 criteria that you should look for your best customers. So when you're going out and finding more new people, search these criteria. Don't just go into Zoom Info or Apollo or whatever data management tools you have and say, give me companies with this much revenue and 50 employees in this industry. Like there's other layers on top of that we need to factor in. You could be more targeted and more focused and get more success more likely because you're finding the right type of people. And starting out, we don't always have a ton of great data. So maybe you just have to just go out and just try and get business on board so you have enough data that you could then maybe 6 months or 12 months later, you could start to be more targeted and focused. But a lot of your reps have a hunch. So this shouldn't be something that the marketing team just builds on their own or the analytics team or the sales leaders do. Like that's a conversation we all should have. Marketing should bring their perspective. We should bring that to the salespeople, because just because we feel that on the marketing side or the leadership side, the salespeople are like, I'm out on these calls and like, here's what I'm hearing. And so you could pull in call transcripts, get their perspective, like get a very holistic view of who it is that you're looking to target and go after. And when I started, getting into consulting 2 years ago, this was something that I thought was a big opportunity for teams. And a lot of this was manual. Like we had to pull these and, analyze it. And I would work with certain leaders and talk through, hey, here's who the people you should be going after. Now, a lot of that could be, done with AI with some manual prompting if that's where you're at. We'll also talk about what it looks like when you're connected and you have systems and your tech team or a consultant comes in and can build out automations and agents and like do all that work that manually would have taken us days to do in 30 minutes, hour, to give you a good first draft. And then you could build off that and take those couple of days to make it perfect. So the differing levels, based on where you're at and based on the resources you have, because I talk about it a lot and I feel like I'm behind sometimes, but also then there's a lot of teams and organizations that I talk to who their reps are just barely starting to use like a Copilot or Chat GPT for work use cases outside of business, aside from just write me a better email. So everyone's at a different stage, but there's a similar type system or workflow or process that it is that you want to follow. And so, like, let's say, for example, you're doing manual prompts. My first piece of advice would be work with AI to get the right prompt. Because a lot of people, if they're like, right, I want to find the best lead that I want to go after, they'll probably just say, hey, here are some deals, analyze this and give me like a couple criteria that help me. But if you have a more tight prompt and like something that's repeatable, that is consistent, and I'll show you what that looks like, of like, here's everything you want to put in very detailed, a certain output that you're looking for, step by step, first do this, then do that, here's the output that I want. Now it's not just giving you just a random ideal customer profile, it's giving you specifically what you want, and you built this prompt or this system, a repeatable prompt that you could do, or agent, um, that's based on your instance and based on what's most relevant to you. So a lot of teams, a lot of sales leaders, they're probably at that stage where they're manually prompting, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Like you're, starting to get into it. You're starting to let AI help you and go do some research and pull different facts and trends and data that could help you. But ideally, we want to get to a point where we have the systems where this stuff's just running in the background. Like we're putting good data into our CRM, we're going on these meetings, we have these call transcripts. So that's kind of the next stage is, now you have agents that are built in, they're plugged into your CRM, they're plugged into your marketing automation platform, they're plugged into your call recording. And then once a week, it's like analyzing that and giving you an output of like, hey, here's some things that we noticed, and here are some shifts that are happening in your ideal customer profile. It could be this segment of buyer you're targeting, they convert 35% higher than than other segments that you focus on. Or these leads you're targeting, they don't fit your ideal customer profile. My recommendation would be not to spend as much time or energy there, focus more on these. And those are things like when we're just like, we don't have time to think about that. We have numbers we're chasing, we're probably already behind in our planning. So to sit down and do this exercise, like just put it off. Like, let's just keep making more calls. Let's keep doing more meetings and get more outreach. But if we could take some time to look ahead and get out in front and build some of these systems out, it's a little investment on the front end of time and resources, but on the long run and like, down the road, long term, you have all this already built for you, and it's something that could really help you out. So that's having agents that are running in the background and giving you outputs on a consistent. It could be daily, it could be weekly, whatever it is that you set. The next level would be automation, where there's agents that are automatically running in the background, but it's automatically changing your campaigns and changing your strategy, your sales and marketing strategy. So not only is it identifying, all right, this is who we're selling well, this is feedback we're getting from call transcripts, this is, data from our different campaigns, and giving you those insights, but it's actually changing your strategy automatically. It's already plugged into, what you do for your ads, and it's changing like the assets and the copy that you put in your ads because of the information that it has. It's already changing the talk tracks that your sales team's using, or if you have like an automated email that's trying to source leads for you and get meetings, like it's already changing that copy. And so, with the agents that are in the background, it's really good at serves you insights. You still have to go manually go change that and take that and make decisions. Where if you build out the automation, it's automatically updating your campaigns for you, automatically updating your copy, and that's like next level. So a lot of people are going to be years away from that, but some are already getting to that point. And now, obviously, you need someone monitoring it to make sure, or maybe just like hitting approve before it does, but it's just saving so much more time, and it's using rich insights that are from your own data and customers and everything like that. In the words they're saying, not just a gut feel anymore, or there's this marketing leader that's been around, or the sales leader's been around, and like this is how it's always worked for me, I'm going to bring this playbook in. No, it's like real things that are happening in real time and updating, automating, and everything like that. And so, not too far away from that being more normal and commonplace within sports, but still some work to do to get there. Need the executive leadership, sponsorship, and buy-in to make sure that that happens. But those are different levels, from prompting to having agents to then automation who's already updating and changing like your sales strategy just like that, with someone who's overseeing it, and kind of being that final check to hit go or hit approve. So a lot of things I hear now as relates to podcasts is that role of a middle level manager, and they still see a place for it, but maybe they're less managing people, but starting to manage a mix of people and different agents and systems on the AI side. So as I talk to young sellers or people looking to get into the industry, learning AI and some of these processes, like now it's not as complicated as it used to be. Before you had to learn how to code and be an engineer, like a lot of the system kind of works for you if you start to play around with it. So imagine 3 to 5 years from now, if you as a rep, instead of just really getting really good at sales, you could now build systems and agents and processes, and like you can optimize best. Like here's where we're going to use the humans in my sales process. Here's where I'm going to use the agents and the AI. There's not going to be a lot of people that are going to be able to compete with you as you look to get into that next level of leadership and executive leadership and everything like that. So I definitely think it's an investment that's worthwhile now to set you up for long-term success. So yeah, I'll close here in a little bit on that topic. But as you know, every episode I talk about things that stood out to me. And so it was really interesting how this came about. I hadn't heard about the tool at all. It's called Active Campaign until this week. And my wife Brittany, she was at a B2B marketing conference. She's like, "Hey, like you should check this out. I just sat in a seminar or like a session about this. This looks really cool. I think this is something we could use with some of our clients." And so with one of my clients, Fort Lauderdale United, I was working with someone new that came in to help us with brand strategy. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about using Active Campaign for that." And it's just crazy. Like within a day, I had never heard of this tool, and then two marketers are talking about what this is. And so, I still need to dive in deeper and understand it. But pretty much it's AI that's building out like your campaigns. And, with prompts, you can get, customer journeys and campaigns built out, like all the stuff that takes us time on the marketing side. Not really me, I'm more on the sales side, but for marketers to build out, this is kind of doing it for you and giving you like a first draft of copy, and already building out and writing out what your 5-step email journey looks like for people in this segment. So and look pretty affordable too compared to other marketing automation platforms. So that's something that stood out to me, is Active Campaign. So if you're a marketer or just curious about learning more about marketing and AI, that's a tool definitely should check out. Shout out, it's the beginning of May, so a lot of students are wrapping up finals. A lot of students that I've talked to, they're getting graduating and starting to take their first job. So definitely want to shout those people out. That's a big accomplishment. Excited for you to step into the workforce and watch you all make an impact on our industry and give back. And as much as I like to hope that I'm providing value, I learn a ton every time I have a conversation with somebody who's looking to get in the industry. One, it just triggers like my passion for why I wanted to get into this, and like, pushes me to continue to grow and evolve. But then also, it's just exciting to see people take that first step and get to grow in their career. Other shout out real quick. We went to go see the movie Michael tonight about Michael Jackson, and his nephew played him in the movie. Crushed it, did a great job. So reinvigorated our desire to listen to more Michael Jackson music and play that for our kids. So I'm sure that'll be in heavy rotation in our household over the next couple of weeks. But no, great movie. Definitely encourage you to check it out. But in closing, so you want to start by defining what your ideal customer profile is. That keeps your marketing team from just randomly posting stuff and targeting certain types of people. Your sales team from just randomly calling people really hones in, so you could be more laser focused on like, here are the best people that we serve, and they close more quickly for higher dollar amounts when I work with these type of people. And it's good for you to know that just as a sales leader, as a sales rep, just so you're more effective. And then you start working across the team. So your marketing team, your sales team, you're working together, and you're defining what that is, and like everyone's aligned on like, here's the best people that we serve. Been in too many meetings where we should go after this segment, we should go after that. My buddy at the other team did this, and my friend down the street, he does this, and he said he'd buy tickets. And there's just so much like noise, where if you can all align, that's going to help you kind of hone in and stay focused. Um, so that bringing everyone across the go-to-market together, that's huge. And then just as you evolve in your AI processes from, all right, let's take this data and put it into whatever tool that you use, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever, and give you insights. Now you have it, you're just operating and doing your thing, and it's automatically giving you those insights, or even updating your copy and your content as you go out to your go-to-market strategy. So that's ideal customer profile. We'll talk about another use case next week as it relates to using AI to be kind of that connective tissue, that connective piece within sales and marketing. So we'll talk more about messaging and utilizing real conversations to update your messaging, marketing, your sales messaging, everything like that, and what that looks like. And then, yeah, lastly, oh, forgot to do a screen share. So let me, I'll go through this here really quick. I plan to do that this episode. So before I close, going to go there so I could show you what this looks like. It's kind of got going. All right, let me share my screen here. All right, this window. All right, so this is the prompt that I put in, just so you could see. Told it what its job is, very specific on like what I wanted to do. So analyze this data in 6 steps: close one patterns, close loss comparison, buying signals, ICP definition, disqualifiers, strategic recommendations. And this is what I want the final output to be: an executive summary, best fit ICP, 10 different things. So when we talk about prompting, being very specific on what it is you want to do and what the output is that you want. So let me pull in some data here. I asked AI to help build that prompt, but then also gave me some hypothetical data I could use and just show you what it looks like when you get a good ideal customer profile. All right. So your highest value customers are mid-market companies. That's based on the scenarios I gave. So I gave it deals we won, deals we lost, notes from our CRM, just different insights that could help just give better outputs. Different campaigns we're running. So here's a best fit ideal customer profile: healthcare, SaaS tech, financial services, construction. Company size is this much, this many employees. the buyers that we should target for each of those different ones, a high probability trigger, they're entering a new market, they're hiring new people, the core use cases that we've won the most deals on. So looking at what happened in their business that caused them to move forward. So hopefully you're collecting that data so you can then report on that and then pull out insights like this. So companies that are looking for lead generation, companies that, number 3 here, client retention, entering a new market, different pain points. We need qualified leads, not just volume. We need to justify this to finance. So you hear those words, those are different things that help you. Their average deal size, their average sales cycle. So more than just, let's call construction companies that are this size, but like these are the things and signals of the deals we win most. So you win best. So it doesn't mean you're disqualifying someone right away when you don't hear these things, but like when you hear these are ones that you serve best. And you can try and find more companies that are like this and showing these signals. And again, AI could help you find and target those different types of companies too. So it tells you when you're wasting your time, startup and small businesses, owner-led business without a strategy. So a lot of times you'll get like leads if you just pulled it that are like local leads on like a Google map. Like in this scenario, that's probably not best fit for the data that I gave it as to who we're closing. You need to find that mid-market size company like we talked about. So this really hones me in as a sales rep and a sales leader as I'm building out a strategy for my sales team of like, here are the people that we need to go after and here are the type of deals that we win best. So let me stop sharing my screen here and I'll go ahead and close this out. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Use AI to help build the prompt out. Give it quality data from your CRM or just the best notes you could give it. The more detail you give it, the better, because then it's going to give you a better output that can help you find and qualify better leads. But if this was impactful for you, like it so that it gets out to more people, share this with somebody in your network that you think can enjoy this or take something away from it. Subscribe so you get updated when we get new episodes come out each week. And in closing, like I always say, I can always tell my daughters every morning when I drop them off for school, go be awesome today, and I'll be back next week with another video.
That's nothing. I'ma be doing this and I'm gonna be head hunting. Oh baby, don't know. Oh baby, don't go. Oh baby, don't know. Oh baby, don't go.